Welcome to the Rebel Leader Podcast, Shattering the Status Quo. Brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board. Hosted by Dr. Joshua Ducharme, a leader with over 20 years of experience in education, where bold educational leaders share their stories of breaking the mold and transforming schools and communities. If you're ready to become a rebel leader and shatter the status quo in education, let's dive in.
Hey, are you looking to scale your business from 5 figures to 6 figures or 6 figures to 7 figures? If you are, I have the perfect thing for you. What I want you to do today is I want you to go download a book. This book is going to take you through my 3-pillar system. It's 100% free. All you have to do is go to growfast.cash. I say again, go to growfast.cash and you're going to be able to download my free international best-selling book, which is called Be Good, Be Brief, Be Gone. You can take that book. It's going to help you scale your business to the next level. Again, go download it. Be good, be brief, be gone. Growfast.cash. I say again, growfast.cash. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Rebel Leader Podcast, the show where we challenge the status quo in leadership, in education, and all kinds of other things. I'm Dr. Joshua Ducharme, and if you're new here, this is a space for real talk, unfiltered conversations, and the kind of discussions that most people in leadership roles are honestly too afraid to have. So in today's episode, it's just going to be me, solo cast. I have a lot on my mind as of recent, and we're talking about something that's been weighing heavily on me. Not just on me, honestly, but really about teachers across the country right now. Something that's been driving incredible educators out of the classroom, making schools more about politics than actual learning, and turning a profession that is built on passion into a system that feels more like a battleground. So I want to share with you my personal experience about why I left teaching, why so many others are doing the same, and why the real problem isn't really just about pay or staffing shortages. No. It's about something much bigger: control. Control over what teachers are allowed to say, what we're expected to believe, and how school leadership is enforcing ideological conformity instead of fostering real education. This isn't about a left versus right conversation. It's about leadership. It's about responsibility and the fundamental purpose of why schools exist. And if you think this doesn't affect you, whether you're a teacher, a leader, a parent, or just someone who cares about the future, think again. So let's get into it. About 20 plus years ago, when I first stepped into the classroom as a teacher, I believed in something really simple: that education should be about learning. It should be about curiosity, about developing the skills to think critically, to ask tough questions, to explore different ideas. And it really should be about preparing young minds for a world that's very complex and it's always evolving and changing. But over the years, over 20 plus years, I've watched something shift. It was slowly at first, and then suddenly, more in the last 5 years, came all at once. And education became more about what people believed about politics rather than learning. And I don't just mean in the headlines or in school boards. I mean like literally inside the schools themselves, in the staff meetings, in the professional development sessions, in mandated trainings where only one perspective wasn't just encouraged, it was required. I remember sitting in one of those trainings. It was a required professional development session where the facilitator, they stood up at the front of the room and they told us point blank that if we did not accept everything that was being presented, then we were part of the problem. There was no discussion. There was no room for alternate perspectives. There was no acknowledgement that we as educators, we might have our own experiences, our beliefs, or even just questions. And I'm not talking about debates over things like, whether students should be treated with kindness and respect. We can all agree that that is something that on both sides of the fence people agree on. But I'm talking about like real ideological positions that we were being presented as absolute truths with absolutely no space for critical thinking, no space for nuance, and certainly no space for any disagreement. And at first I thought, well, maybe it's just this one training. Maybe I was just overthinking it. But Then it continued to happen again and again and again and again until I realized that, whoa, I wasn't just being asked to educate students. I was being asked to conform and to align with their particular worldview, to teach not just facts, but a specific narrative. Now, let me be clear. This isn't about being anti-progress or anti-change. Schools should absolutely evolve, and we should strive for inclusivity. But we should be addressing important issues in our classrooms. Reading, writing, arithmetic. But what I witnessed, what so many other teachers across the country have witnessed, isn't really evolution. It's not about progress, in my opinion. It's shutting down. It's the shutting down of the discussion. It's the enforcement of ideology, and it's not education. That is indoctrination. And what frustrates me most is that the classroom should be the last place where this kind of political coercion happens. Schools should be the model of the very thing that they claim to value: intellectual curiosity, diverse perspectives, and respect for different viewpoints. But instead, we've created an environment where teachers are afraid to speak up. Honestly, like where they whisper in their real thoughts in the break room, but sit quietly during meetings because they know that saying the wrong thing, even asking the wrong question, could cost them their job. Trust me, I've lived through it. And what about students? So what message are we sending them? We tell them to think critically, to ask questions, to engage in difficult conversations. But behind the scenes, their teachers are being told to do the exact opposite. And before anyone assumes this is just like a one-sided problem here, let's be honest. This issue isn't limited to one political ideology. In some districts, it's left-leaning agendas that are being pushed. In others, it's right-leaning ones. There are schools where certain historical truths are being erased because they make people uncomfortable. There are places where teachers are punished for acknowledging racism exists, just as there are places where teachers are punished for questioning certain social theories, as is what happened with me. The real issue here isn't left versus right. It's the idea that school leaders, principals, superintendents, policymakers, board members, they are using education as a tool to push their own political beliefs instead of trusting teachers to do what we were trained to do: teach.
Looking to grow your business beyond 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures plus? What I want you to do is go download this book. The title is called Be Good, Be Brief, Be Gone. It will help you grow your business past 5, 6, and 7 figure. Go download the book today. Growfast.cash. I say again, growfast.cash, and download the book for absolutely free.
Education should be a space where students are given the tools to think for themselves, not where they are handed a pre-approved set of beliefs. It should be a place where teachers are encouraged to bring multiple perspectives into the classroom, not where they are forced to pick a side. And this is where school leadership has an innate responsibility. Because the truth is, teachers don't set the tone of the school. Leaders do. They decide what trainings are mandatory, what books are approved, what language is acceptable, and what happens to teachers who step out of line. And all too often, they are prioritizing political alignment over educational integrity. So, here's my message to school leaders. Be mindful. Be mindful of the messages you're sending, not just in what you say, but in what you require your staff to do. Be mindful of the pressure you place on teachers to conform. Be mindful of how you frame professional development and whether it's truly about professional growth or about ideological reinforcement. Because here's what happens when you fail to do that. Teachers burn out. They leave, walk away from the profession, not because they don't love teaching, not because they don't care about students, but because they are tired of being told what to think instead of being trusted to teach. And that's why I left the classroom. This wasn't the only reason, but it was a big one. When you spend years dedicating yourself to a profession, you pour your heart into it, and only realize that you're being treated as a mouthpiece rather than an educator, it wears you down. Chips away at your passion, your motivation, your sense of purpose. But honestly, Politics were just one piece of the puzzle. There were so many other things that made me question how much longer I could do this. Things that really could be a whole discussion in themselves, a whole show in themselves. Student apathy was one of them. And I don't blame kids for being disengaged. Our entire system is failing them. It's a systemic problem. But when you show up every day full of energy, full of ideas, trying to create lessons that matter, and all you get back is blank stares, eye rolls, or kids scrolling on their phones, it is soul crushing. And then there's the parents. The ones who refuse to hold their kids accountable for anything, but will email you at 11 p.m. demanding to know why their child has a failing grade. First of all, you should be in bed by 11. And the lack of support from leadership. Instead of backing their teachers, they're saying, yes, this student needs to take responsibility, or no, this parent doesn't get to yell at you like that. I find that many administrators, they literally just fold under pressure and side with whoever is the loudest. And in this case, most of the time, it's the parents. Make no mistake. When teachers leave, the students suffer. When good, experienced, passionate educators decide that they've had enough, the entire system suffers. And we're seeing that now. The teacher shortage is not just about pay, as I mentioned before. It is about a profession that no longer feels like a place of intellectual freedom. So, yeah, I left. And I know I'm not alone. Teachers are leaving in record numbers. And instead of asking why, instead of fixing the root issues, the system just shrugs and says, we need more teachers. No, we need to fix. No, that's not it. We need to fix the reasons why teachers are leaving. Because at the end of the day, I didn't leave because I didn't love teaching. I left because I couldn't keep setting myself on fire just to keep the broken system warm. So the question isn't why are teachers leaving? The question is, why isn't anyone doing anything to stop it? Because if we truly want to create a better education system, if we want to prepare our students for the complexities of the real world, then we need to start by trusting teachers. Trust them to present those multiple perspectives. Trust them to engage students in meaningful discussions. Trust them to do the job that they've been trained for years without political interference from us, the leaders above. Remember, leadership isn't about control. It's about guidance. It's about creating that environment where real learning can happen. And real learning doesn't happen when one perspective is forced on everyone. It happens when ideas are explored, they're debated, and understood. And the classroom should be a place of thought, not a place of forced thought. It's time that we recognize the difference. Thanks for joining me. I hope that I've enlightened you a little bit about the perspective of what's happening in schools and leadership and how we can be better leaders and how we can better support teachers and how we can better support students. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time.
Hey, we all want to scale our business. Hey, I have the answer for you today to help you do that. If you're looking to scale from 5, 6, even 7 figures and beyond, book called Be Good, Be Brief, Be Gone. I'm going to give it to you for free. All you have to do is type in growfast.cash. I say again, growfast.cash, and you can download the book for absolutely free. I hope the book helps you this year. Take your business to the next level. Again, go grab the book, growfast.cash. I say again, growfast.cash. I wish you the best and grow, scale, and win.
Thanks for listening to the Rebel Podcast, Shattering the Status Quo, sponsored by Strategic Advisor Board with new episodes each week. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.
There it is. Magnum. Holy moly.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
Dear God. It's beautiful.